Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Let's go big picture here because, we can talk about free throws, but let's go big picture because it's the NBA. Every game doesn't matter. End of the day, Celtics are making the playoffs. Lakers probably aren't unless they make a big trade. But let's go holistic here. Let's talk big. It was a great game. It was the best NBA game of the season, in my opinion. And it was two flawed teams, and both were on display. So the Lakers lack wing defenders. We told you this, right? So here's Jason Tatum, exhausted, end of a trip, back-to-back. He's unstoppable. 44 points, got any shot he wanted to, shot 50% from the floor. Golden State and the Clippers have great wing defenders. A more rested Jason Tatum shot 7 of 20 against the Clips, 6 of 21 against the Warriors, because they can keep throwing wing defenders and bodies at him. Lakers, he's exhausted, 44 points. They don't have a guy to put on him. You can't blame LeBron. You can't blame AD. If it's not for AD, you're not even in that game. Let's get over the free throws. He's the reason you're in that game. You can't blame Westbrook. He played well. We love to blame Westbrook. You can't blame Darvin Ham. Hell, this roster, they start 3 guards. That's what they are. They start 3 guards. That was a loss upstairs. LeBron was great. AD was great. Westbrook, he drives me nuts. He's done a remarkable job to embrace his role. And Darvin Ham's having a really, really good early season for a coach. Everything he's implemented has worked. He's been terrific. This was on the construct of the roster. They're not built to stop eventually a Kawhi or a Jason Tatum. Tatum was gassed at the end of that game. He still got every shot he wanted to. Now let's talk about the Celtics' flaws. Now, they're more aesthetic, but I don't know if they're solvable. The Lakers are only solvable with a big trade. Celtics may have to make one, too, if they want to beat Milwaukee, Golden State, or the Clippers. Think about this. So, they don't have an athletic big man when Robert Williams isn't playing. He wasn't last night. And Robert Williams is hurt a lot, often, regularly. That's why they bring over Blake Griffin. If you're using Blake Griffin as an athletic big at this point, you're not beating Milwaukee. You're not beating Golden State. You're not beating the Clippers. So that's a problem. When Robert Williams is not on the floor, like last night, Anthony Davis could have scored 50. He gets it. You think Giannis, Embiid, AD, if you don't have Robert Williams on the floor, the guy they have right now, second time around for the Celtics, he's a backup. So that is an issue. You gotta cross your fingers on Robert Williams' health. The other thing is that the Lakers came back in this game. They had an 18-0 run. And part of the 18-0 run is Jason Tatum's not on the floor. And they do not move the ball. It's not as fluid for the Celtics. The ball doesn't move as well when Tatum's off the floor. And he was out for part of that 18-0 run. Now, some of it is I think the Celtics were a little tired. Okay, they're a tired team. It's end of the third, back-to-back nights in Los Angeles. It's very demanding. It was high emotion against the Lakers. But the thing is what you're saying is, Colin, that's okay because Tatum's young and he can play. Who led the NBA last year in playoff minutes? Jason Tatum. Who broke down in the finals? You and I both know. Tatum was not 100%. He was not. He is now, and look how great he is. Jason Tatum was not 100%. So the Lakers, if these were houses, the Lakers' problems are foundational. Their foundation stinks. That's a much bigger issue. You got to make a big trade. But the Celtics' issues, though feeling more aesthetic, are issues. Robert Williams gives you about 60 games a year, and you have to cross your fingers on his health in the playoffs if he's facing bigs every night, and he is fundamentally crucial to this defense. This defense is different level when he's on the floor. His length, his athleticism, it's unbelievable. And Jason Tatum, they got to have him on the floor. I love Jaylen Brown, having the best year of his career. But when Tatum's not on the floor, they are not the same offense. Teams like the Lakers can have an 18-0 run. Well, we'll just keep Tatum on the floor. That was the problem last year. He played, and I mean, he played more playoff minutes than Jimmy Butler. I mean, he was that's more playoff minutes than any Warrior. So it's really interesting. We can blame AD for free throws. Folks, they're not in that game without AD. So both those teams on a great night of NBA basketball are flawed. The Celtics are smaller flaws, but I don't think you can correct it. They got to have Tatum on the floor in big spots, and Robert Williams can struggle to stay healthy. They may need to make a move as well. We just don't think about it. We think that the Lakers have to make moves, which they do. They just don't have enough wing defenders. They need another shooter. Here was Tatum after.
Last game of the road trip, we've been going for like 13 days. Second night of a back-to-back. Man, what was it down? 12 with 3 minutes left? But we found a way in. We needed that, man. Losing 2 in a row. Haven't been playing the best individually and as a team, but, man, found a way to get back on track. That felt good.
By the way, there were a couple of moves late in that game by Jason Tatum. Dude is just fantastic. He's got, Kobe was his favorite player. And late in that game, he got that ball back to the basket, and there was a lot of Kobe. It looked a lot like Kobe. He's a remarkable talent. But if he's not on the floor, it's not the same offense. It does not move as well.